With the snow melting, some of us are eager to get out in the yard and get that garden started. But what is the best way to go about it? So we've got Don Kinsler with us. Again, welcome back, Don.
Well, thank you. And gosh, we're all anxious for spring to come.
Oh,
and
yes.
it is going to be so fun to get out into the vegetable garden again. And vegetable gardening is a really hot topic now because of a couple of things. You know, it started with the pandemic. People were home more, in their yards more, and just interested in vegetable gardening. And now with the rising prices of food, having your own vegetable garden right in your own yard, just, you know, you can save a lot of money. For example, my wife Mary and I enjoy vegetable gardening, and these are vegetables that we grew in our own garden last year. And of course we can store them, so not only do you get fresh vegetables during the growing season, but also you can store, you know, the potatoes, onions, carrots, so you can enjoy these all winter long. And now I was lucky. I learned how to garden with my parents and grandparents. So I grew up kind of learning and knowing how to garden. But for many people, they maybe don't know where to start. You know, people that would maybe like to grow vegetables, but you don't always know where to start. And so that's why on this Thursday evening, March 24th, I'm doing a live webinar with the basics. You know, where do you start? If you've got some area in your yard, or even if you have a deck or patio. I'm going to talk about how you can grow things in containers. So the webinar on Thursday evening, 7 o'clock, it's a Zoom live webinar. And that will talk about all the ways, just how do you get started? How do you know what to grow from seed? How do you know what to start with plants? And so we're going to talk about all the things that someone would need to know to start a brand new vegetable garden.
I love that.
Yeah, and so that webinar is Thursday evening. It's going to be live, so people can ask questions. It's the Zoom type webinar. And at the end here, I'm sure they'll show the contact information. Now, we already have 100 registered for it. We can take up to 500.
Wow.
So I would love to get 400 more emails saying, please send me the registration link. So for anybody that would like to grow vegetables but isn't sure where to start, we can talk about things like, okay, I've got a spot in my yard. How do I get rid of the grass that's growing there so I can start planting vegetables? We'll talk about things like that. How much sun do vegetables need? And all of the different things, how to fertilize, care for them, what to do with the weeds when they come up. So I'm excited to talk about that on Thursday night.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for you because usually when we have you on the show, we're talking about planting in pots. We've done a lot of pots, so this is a really good time to actually kind of look ahead to, you know, now that the snow's melting and it's great, and some of us just have still a lot of moisture and a lot of mud.
And
get
so
to that next thing.
Very soon we'll be able to start actually digging in the garden. And some of these are life skills. Children that grow up, you know, learning how to vegetable garden, that's a lifelong skill. Also, it's been shown that people who do grow their own vegetables, including children, eat more vegetables. And kids that grow their own carrots and potatoes and snap peas, they just eat more. You know, you kind of have the urge to go out. It's fresh, it's nice, it's fun, and it's just a healthy activity.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was one of those kids that grew up with, you know, the grandma's got the garden and the mom's got the garden, and that's amazing. And it's unfortunate now, like my kids haven't had that experience because I haven't had one yet, but I'm trying to listen to a lot of your advice and do that. Is there maybe one tip that you can share with the people watching today just to kind of lure them in a little bit for the webinar?
Yes, if you've got a spot in your backyard, no matter what size, how do you get rid of that grass that is there so you can start planting a vegetable garden? Well, there's a couple of ways that we'll talk about. One of those is to, with cardboard. You know, flatten cardboard, flatten out cardboard boxes, lay that on the grass. You can start that now, and that will kill the grass so that at a certain point in May, it'll be nicely killed. Then you can just till that up and plant gardens. And also, if you want to grow tomatoes on a patio, on deck, balcony, it requires the size of about a 5-gallon bucket to grow that. Oftentimes we try to grow tomatoes in a pot that's too small. So we'll include tips like that. And you know, this surge in vegetable gardening, I don't think we've seen this a hot of interest since maybe the Victory Gardens in World War I and II. So it's a wonderful trend in which we can produce a lot of good fresh vegetables. So Thursday evening we'll include those types of tips. So for anybody that would like to but just isn't really sure where to start, that's what we're going to tailor this to.
That is so fun. And I love that you said Nicely Killed. That would be a great book title. I'm just throwing that out there. Nicely Killed by Don Kinsler.
Killed, yes. Yeah, exactly. So please do join me. Again, my email, probably the easiest way for someone to register is just to send me an email, donald.kinsler, Kinzler, at ndsu.edu, and I'll gladly send you that registration link. And then we'll talk, again, that's 7 o'clock on Thursday, March 24th.
Oh, fantastic. Don, as always, thank you again for coming and bringing a little bit of some lightness and some joy, and we just love that.
Thank you.
Stay with us. Coming up on today's show, if recent parent-teacher conferences have you a little bit concerned, we're going to have the expert on later to kind of talk us through that.